have a look at the new hazelnuts being all planted in. How about it? We're in the backyard. The ones that are going to go to my friend are tucked in right here. I did this in the rain. This is called healing in. All of their roots are just stacked on top of each other, and then there's nice moist soil piled on top. And they're leafing out faster than the ones that I planted in properly. So let's go have a look. I have a couple other happy things to show. Did you see how many flowers? That's one happy thing. Here's another happy thing. Let's go this way so I can show you real close. Look at how well the apple tree is budding and blooming this year. It's really pretty. I have one thing that I'm pretty bummed about that happened just today. Neighbor got out the hedge clippers and just yeah, I don't know what the logic is, because I thought we put this in so we'd both have privacy. My consolation is that the likelihood that they'll ever put this amount of effort into their hedges ever again is, I think, pretty low. So, I don't know if they think a view into my yard is a view. It's really a bizarre decision. But here's hazelnuts, and these went in before this hedge got short. It was almost all the way to the top, and it looked not ridiculous for once. Here's hoping they catch up again soon. I don't know. So, yeah, there were a couple of itty-bitty little ones that I thought had the best chance of surviving up here, because I've had plants succumb to drought up here more than a few times as far as trying to get the hazelnuts established in this section. That was what I would have rathered other than these, but up until today at about 3, I was happy with that. Alright, so here's more. And the idea right along here, this is another one. The idea along here is that they will slowly replace the Rose of Sharon hedge with food stuff. So there's doop, boop, boop. There's one here. There's one here. And then there's 1, 2, 3, which is surrounded by bricks so I wouldn't step on them. And I'm confused because something already nipped this one off clean. So I went ahead and shoved what was left of it just on the ground, all the way in the ground, hoping maybe I'll get a rooting out of it. Probably not, but maybe. This will still grow. It just doesn't have its full form. Yeah, so I'm really confused by how that looks like a good idea. That just looks horrible. I don't understand. The elderberries are really leafing out well, and at least one of the ones that I planted is doing well in the pot, so that's exciting. I emptied out this. There was a trash can right here. So now I had to be careful not to trip on the rose, because that was kind of helping me not trip on the rose. The Concord grape is actually leafing out, so it survived. Got to keep water in it pretty good every day, though. Then the little bit that I cut off the apple tree is actually fully leafed out in its tiny little pot. That's this one right here. Obviously, I still don't have the maypop planted in. Gotta do that soon. The quail hutch is still at the same stage that it was. It's just so bizarre. It's just like, chuck. That's so weird. Why did she do that? Yeah. So then back here, I repotted the gooseberry because I wasn't sure if that's where I'll end up wanting it to be because it has thorns. We'll see if I get a plum because I had a plum flower, just one. And I've had a few sweet cherry flowers and a handful of honeyberry flowers. So I'll have to be looking out for fruits on those. These appear to be coming up pretty well. This short one in the foreground, that's the serviceberry or Saskatoon. And then the bigger one, followed by another Saskatoon after, but the bigger one in the middle is a sour cherry that I thought was dead. It has dead man's fingers fungus. And the trunk's almost completely gone. I think I've shown this before, but I'll show it again. Look at that. The trunk bark is almost completely peeled off. And yet, it's almost definitely going to do fruit. That's crazy. I like it. These are doing well too. June berries is another name for those. And then the main little apple is starting to leaf out. Oops, sorry, I'm blurry. It's starting to leaf out right here. So that's my columnar apple. That other bit in the pot back there is a cutting off of the roots. It's exciting. I think my friend said he's coming next week. I have some parsnips here. Been getting a lot of asparagus already, which is excellent. I also just harvested a bunch of flowers off of the rhubarb that does all the flowers back here. Look how happy. I just had like a huge asparagus dinner yesterday, and there's just a ton more. The other two plants, there's barely any on either side. There's like one sprig coming up on either side, and I don't know if that's a lack of light. Like maybe this one gets the most light. I don't know what's going on. Oh well. So, yep, here's more rhubarb. I love the perpetual rhubarb because it's constantly food. That's very nice. I like that part. And then I've had quite a bit of lovage as well, which is kind of a predecessor to celery, although it's not a native. If I'd have been thinking, I probably would have gotten Angelica instead, because that's a native. I need to transplant a bunch more Saskatoons. I've got a runner coming off here that also seems to have a cherry tree tucked between it that I want to turn into a couple different pots. I have a seedling here, and so I would really like to get that going over there. That would be really good. But we'll see what happens next. Yay, apple tree! We'll just pretend that's not there. And look at the pretty pink blooms on the apple tree. and ignore the loss of my privacy that I worked so hard on. So pretty. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a decent number of apples this year. It's excellent. I think this one has a bit of an every other year bias to it, which apples are prone to. But the pear, on the other hand, has a never year bias on it. I think this is its third or fourth year in a row where it's not blooming at all. I'm going to keep an eye on it for another few weeks, but if it continues to not bloom, I have to move it. And I'm not sure there's enough light where I dug the hole. I may have to put it on the far side of the house where there's a lot more light. Because this gets shade from my house and then shade from the other house. I'm not sure if it's more light than here or not. Genuinely not sure. And then I gotta decide what I'm putting here instead. It's a tough decision. Let's go have a look out over the view, and then that'll be our tour with introduction to the new hazelnuts for today. Beautiful day. It's supposed to rain the whole rest of the week. Hope you're staying safe and safe and healthy. Take care. Bye.